Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another preview. And it's it's a Carabao Cup game, our first game in the Carabao Cup this season, away to Port Vale. Um, and yeah, we're gonna get straight into the little preview. But first and foremost, apart from doing the obvious like, sub, and share the content around, we have got to look at Mikel Arteta. Shock, Mikel Arteta. I don't like him. I don't rate him as a manager. But he's I'm gonna say it how it is. He's injured Noni Madueke. Now, obviously, it came out that Noni Madueke is going to be out until November. There were scares that it was going to be an ACL injury. However, thankfully, it's not. Although I don't rate the guy as a player, you don't want to wish injury on anyone. Let's be honest. But yeah, he will be injured with a knee problem, so he won't be back. Let's see what games he's going to miss as well, because I'm not sure, apart from maybe Newcastle away, about how bad our fixtures are. So he's going to miss Port Vale, Newcastle, Olympiacos, West Ham, Fulham, Atletico Madrid, Palace, Burnley, Slavia Prague, Sunderland. So he will probably be back in time for the North London derby around maybe that sort of point. And look, I'm not saying that we're going to miss Madueke. You could say that we've got Bukayo Saka back. However, Madueke in these past few games has been the most direct, the most front-footed attacking player or player full stop that we had. And although at times his decision making isn't all that, and it's pretty bad at times, to be honest, he's given us something different, and that's one thing that we sort of lack. Because I'm not saying Bukayo Saka can't do that. It's the only thing is it's not been coached out of Noni Madueke yet. I say maybe give it about 6 months on his manager. That type of shit will get coached out of him, because that's what this guy does. That is what Mikel Arteta does. He coaches the individual sort of expressive expression out of players, and like I say, he's got a history of doing that. And look, this manager and injuries, this ain't the first time that it's happened. And am I blaming this injury on Arteta? Yes, I am, because he apparently knew he was injured for quite a bit of that first half, and still didn't do anything. And he's got a track record of doing this as well. He's done it with Thomas Partey, done it with William Saliba up at Anfield. He was injured after 4 minutes. Turns out he was injured during the warm up, and Arteta still starting him, and then still ended up taking him off for what do you call it, for Mosquera. And he's played Julian Timber injured, Erdegaard injured, Declan Rice with a broken toe. He banged on Martinelli for a second half quite a few years ago. I can't remember what game. He had to have a long time out. It's probably a handful of players that are missing as well that he's done it to. But yeah, you get my point. He's done this way too many times. Kai Havertz as well. Apparently, he was injured one game and he still played him. This guy's got a whole track record of injuring players, and when I hear people say that he's a good manager, what part of his management skills, because player welfare is part of your management skills, you have a duty of care for players, and you don't really care about them at all, really, because there isn't any excuses either. Because instead of having to play Noni Madueke, or if you had to sub him off earlier, could have played Ethan there. I'm not sure if Dama was in the squad. Could have played Martinelli on the right. Could have put Trossard on the right and put Martinelli on the left. He had a fair amount of options to work with. And if I'm being real, I would genuinely not be surprised if he's rushed Bukayo Saka back, because he does it all the time. Rushed him back last season. Fair enough, he played well against what do you call it, against Madrid in bow ties. However, we knew he won't fit. Norgard hasn't kicked a ball yet for Arsenal in a competitive game. He's already injured. He's been out for a bit. Hincapié got an injury. Don't know how he's got an injury, and I'm seeing quite a lot of people sort of bring up the training ground, the mix of the training ground and Arteta's sort of training regime. But to be fair, injuries have been a problem for Arsenal players, full stop. Not even under Mikel Arteta, under Unai Emery, under Arsene Wenger since the move to the Emirates. So I genuinely would not be surprised if maybe the training pitch isn't fully, I don't know, fully like sort of made for training, and it's causing injuries. And yeah, I would not be surprised about that one bit. But like I said, this guy's man management is piss poor. But we have got a game against Port Vale. It's a game that I expect to win. It's a game that I do expect quite a few changes to happen. I'm going to bring up Arteta's press conference now. If I can get it on the other tab. Right, so we have it. Okay, so where is it gone? Right, there it is. Right, so Mikel Arteta has done. Oh, my Wi-Fi is bugging now. Is it? That's fucking brilliant, isn't it? Got decently good enough Wi-Fi and it's fucking up. But okay, I should be fine, hopefully. So our Carabao Cup journey begins against Port Vale in the third round, and Mikel Arteta has been facing the press before our trip. Before I do that, let me quickly load it up on here so I know it's fine. So I might have to come out and come back in again. But I apparently can't load my own stream up. I don't know why that's been the case, but by the way, smash these likes up as well. Those of you that are in here. That definitely helps the channel quite a bit. I can load it up on here. Will it let me? And nope. Yeah, you got a lot of fucking YouTube sometimes, isn't it? Right, okay. That should work now. Okay, cool. Now the first point on Noni Madueke's injury. Yes, it looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks. We don't know yet. We're probably going to have to scan him somewhere. Scan him next week again. He felt something at the beginning of the match. He tried to carry on, and at half time he was too sore. Straight away, right there is the reason why he's a criminal. And big up 4Lane in the chat. The reason why he's a criminal, and you can rewind the stream back as well. This guy is the sole reason why half these players are going to get injured. Half of our team are going to win anything. He's a criminal for multiple reasons, but today I'm focusing on this guy and his mismanagement of players' fitness. And you can blame the sort of medical staff as well, but we know how much power he has at his football club, and it's clear to see, and just like the example I gave here, he felt something at the beginning of the game. Straight away there, you should see him and that he's not 100%, and you should take him off. And if I go to the bench that was there against Man City, there must be a list of names who we could have brought on. Bukayo Saka came on in the end. Could have brought on Martinelli sooner. Ethan Nwaneri could have brought him on, or could have even started him. Could have maybe moved Trossard to the right and put Martinelli on the left. And look, there's so many options you could have done. And look, fair enough, the Saliba. I talked about that earlier, about maybe 5 minutes ago. If you rewind it, you might be able to see it. Exactly like that. He knew Saliba was not ready to play that game from the start. Played him, came off after 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, where you could have started Mosquera from the beginning, and he would have had no problems at all. But yeah, and he got asked as well if it's weeks rather than months. We hope so. As I said, we need to scan him again and see the real extent, but it doesn't look too bad. Well, now that time has passed, it does look bad. And listen, yeah. Is it Zach or Zoc? Zach, your Arteta out freaks are out of control. Well, bearing in mind, we have not won a trophy in 5 years, coming up to 6 years soon. 5.5 years, won no trophy. Spent over £1 billion, done nothing apart from winning an FA Cup before he got his own players. And we're freaks apparently. Okay, cool. But big up. Thanks for putting a comment in the chat anyway. I saw we've only won one game in 10 games that Rice and Marino have played together. Yep, I was going to bring that up as well, but I couldn't remember the actual stat. But thank you very much. This is worse than when Thomas Partey was playing at right back, because I'm pretty sure we had about a 1-7 record. And people say, right, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. This guy's playing Rice and Marino in the same midfield, being an absolute insane bloke, and thinking something's going to change. I can't. And then people like this guy say that we're Arteta out freaks, apparently, when we can see this guy doing the same thing each and every time, and nothing's happening. And you're saying it's hindsight bias. Well, not really. Well, how is it's not really hindsight, because we've got Arteta's comments. He's told us what he's thinking. He thought that he's seen William Saliba not feel great in the warm up, and he still started him. We just seen literally about 5 minutes ago him saying that Noni felt something at the beginning. That's not our hindsight. That is his words coming out from the press conference. And you're saying that Donnarumma doesn't play out of his skin, and we've got a Champions League. I'm assuming you mean if he doesn't play well, we would have had the Champions League. And while that may be the case, maybe we would have got through in the semi. However, they missed sitters. Well, I say sitters. They missed chances. PSG. They had about 3 chances missed in the first leg. Should have got a penalty. Gonzalo Ramos missed a chance. Barcola missed a chance. Kvaratskhelia hit the post in the second leg. Bettina missed a penalty. They were not clinical in that semi-final. And if they would have scored about 5 more goals. And yes, we had a bit of a flurry in the second leg. We should have scored at least two of them goals. However, you could say the same with the chances that we had. One second, then the chances that we had at the start. However, still, they were the better team. They outplayed us in both legs, apart from little spells here and there. So let me quickly get this up on here. Right, okay. On how disappointing this was, blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. On Piero Hincapié's injury. He picks up a little groin injury. We'll have to assess him again in the next few days to see how he goes. There's been a change of It's been a change of load, right? And he didn't really have a pre-season after the surgery that he had. So he had a surgery recently. I didn't know that. Fair enough. We'll have to see. We'll have to see in the next week or so how he is. And if there's a time frame and there's not, right, this Hincapié situation, I never knew he had an injury, and that's news to me, because I obviously don't watch Leverkusen. I'm not going to sit here and say that I do. However, this guy has not kicked a ball, I believe, apart from the game against Bilbao, and also I want to see what his injury actually is, because Hincapié injuries transfer marked. Right, his injury history. Okay. Hang on, what? Wait, hang on. Has this been not recorded or something? It says here that, right, if I go to detailed, right, I don't know, he must be, okay, he's lying then, pretty much, because his injury history, unless it hasn't updated yet, which I doubt, he had a muscle injury in 2021-22. He had 21-22. He had COVID, and 22-23 he had a foot injury. There's no history recorded of a surgery, unless the website's being wrong. But if so, that's a lie. Another lie in the press conference. But here we go. On the Kai Havertz injury, with Kai, we know that it will be months with him. I don't know if it can be weeks. You never know, because this is Kai. He's a different specimen. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. We really miss him. I bet you fucking do, mate. Because I tell you right now, I'm going to tell all of you in here right now, the day Kai Havertz comes back in the game, expect either Gyökeres to not play or expect Victor Gyökeres to be hooked after 60 minutes, because this guy is single-handedly killing Victor Gyökeres in this system. Until he changes anything, whether it's 3 DMs, the style of play, this guy is going to kill him, and he's going to favour Kai Havertz, because that is his guy. He is the guy who he spent £65 million on, and he has to make it work. And for 3 or so years, he hasn't made it work. Yeah, he had a 14-15 goal season in his first year. However, Havertz is not the one, mate. He bought him as a midfielder. Didn't work there in midfield, because he was meant to be the Granit Xhaka replacement. Let's not get it twisted, right? This guy was meant to be the Granit Xhaka replacement, because after we got rid of him, he played in midfield with Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, and didn't work. Put Rice in the 8, played Jorginho for a bit until Partey came back, and then just put Kai up front, and he had a bit of a purple patch. The injuries are just down to bad luck. We looked at everything. The one with Nonnies is bad luck. It's a very unfortunate incident. With Kai, something similar. With Ben White, it was similar. With Odegaard, it was similar. So according to this guy, it is all because of bad luck. Cool. Same as all the guys that have been out. It's very similar. Bollocks. Because he damaged his shoulder twice during the same action on the floor, which is very unlikely to happen. With Rakaya, it was more of a muscular injury. With the hamstring, maybe something to look more in depth, and we absolutely did it. We tried to keep that as low as possible. That's what we are trying to do. Again, this guy is not telling the truth at all. Most of the injuries are down to his fault. I listed a few earlier. You can go check that out. Let's have a look at these comments. City and Liverpool both have all-time greats coming out of their lineups, and those kinds of players aren't exactly easy to replace, no matter how much money you spend. What do you mean by that, bro? Look up for the comments as well. I can see you in the chat. But if you mean all-time greats like Kevin De Bruyne, I get it. It's hard to replace them, but you still have to replace them, if you know what I mean. You can't, it's not every day you're going to find the next Kevin De Bruyne. They bought Cherky, they bought Reinders. They brought players like that in the midfield to play there, and they're going to have to make it work. Let's be real. And with the likes of Liverpool, they're going to find it hard to replace Mohamed Salah. They're going to find it hard to replace Virgil van Dijk, I'll tell you that. But like I said, these players come, whether I rate Salah for his football ability or not, you can't argue with his all-time goal scoring record, his world-class goal scoring record, and they're going to have to replace it at some point. And maybe they have done when they bought Isak and Ekatike in. But like I said, you're right. It's not easy to replace them, how much money you spend, but it's about how you spend that money as well, because you can get good players for not too much money, and there are so many players in the world that go to these big clubs, like Garnacho for 40 mil. He's shit. Gittins to Chelsea for about 40, 50 mil. He's wank as well. There are players like that. City learn that now with Kevin De Bruyne. Liverpool figure out the same things with Van Dijk and Salah. Literally what I just said, mate. Completely agree with you. Right, you what's it? Big up? Well, not big up. 1 kills, you little couch muppet. Right, mate. I'm talking about football. You clearly don't agree. You clearly have a different opinion to me, which is fine. And we all had different opinions, right? Zach in the chat has different opinions to me. So what? He's being respectful. However, yeah, you mate, I don't know what to say for you. I'll be honest. I can get out of my chat preferably if you're gonna say stuff like that. But anyway, Havertz levels compared to Gyökeres as a footballer. Havertz is a better footballer. I agree with that. However, we need goals in this team, and the only thing I care about with Victor Gyökeres is him scoring goals. And to get him the goals, we need to create chances for him because he's not that good of a footballer. He's got a baggy touch at times, and he's pretty stiff. That's the right word to say, but he's a goal machine. And when you supply him with chances in the right system, the right way, he will bag goals. Yes, Havertz is a better footballer. His link-up play is probably better. However, we brought Gyökeres in to score goals. We have enough creativity in our squad. Apart from the system, because the system is holding us back, we have got way more than enough creativity to be giving Gyökeres chances for him to be scoring goals. He actually gets on the ball, and that's the one thing. Havertz plays in that sort of false nine striker position, and the problem is when big chances come, he either misses them or he's just straight up not there. The amount of times in games, especially last season, Saka has the ball, gets past his man on the outside, puts it into the box, or whether that's Martinelli on the other side, or Trossard on the other side, or this season Eze potentially, and no one's there. There's no one there, and we're missing a striker like Gyökeres. Let's just put it that way. Purple Patch lol, he scored top scorer 2 years. So I think to be fair, I think he was our top goal scorer last season. However, I'm not sure a single player in our team reached what's it? I'm pretty sure not a single player reached double digit goals last season, which is bad anyway. And that's a massive problem with our creativity and our finishing. And to be fair, his first season, he went on like a little purple patch because he did when he played up front from like sort of January onwards to the end of the season. And then obviously he got injured in January. And to be fair, and he weren't scoring in the big games either, let's be real. Well, again, I say maybe games like Man City, that's about it. But the games where it actually mattered, he hasn't really been there, let's just be honest. Big up to Governor, I'm not sure what you mean by that, mate. All right, so Gabby Jesus didn't bad goals like Gyökeres, but if you could get 2023 Jesus back over York, you'd be crazy not to. I totally agree, mate. But to be fair, I'll have them both because sometimes you need something different. Let's be honest, because Jesus, there were some games where he was great, especially before the World Cup. However, there were some games where you need a different profile, and that's one thing managers like. They need different profiles of players. Like having 2 players like Gabriel Jesus in the squad, while it's good because Gabriel Jesus, don't get it twisted, right? He's a great footballer. I'm not denying sort of footballing ability. However, his finishing, like Havertz, is the main issue. And I wouldn't mind keeping Gabriel Jesus now if he could stay fit. I think having Jesus and Gyökeres isn't the worst of striking options. I'd rather have Marino as an understudy. I wouldn't have Marino in midfield, like not at all. But having like 2 different profiles striker, that is something a manager would like. And like I said, that 2023, 2022, 23 Gabby Jesus, he was unbelievable. You're right. And again, it looks like he got rushed back because he did not look the same at all when he came back towards the running. Who cares who's a better footballer? Havertz is a bad finisher, full stop. Exactly. Give me someone who can just put the ball in the back of the net. He's not as good of a footballer, but he does his job as a striker. That's why I love the Aubameyang at Arsenal, because he bagged goals. It's not all about a singular goal scorer. If the whole team is bagging more with Havertz and Jesus versus Jotland, that's the problem. But the problem is now we're not. And that is down to the system, because Arteta has gone less and less and less attacking since that 22-23 season, because that season scarred him. Let's just get it twisted. That season has given him PTSD, which is why he won't go to Anfield and play expansive football like we've done in that season. He won't go to the Etihad and play like that. Even Tottenham away, he won't go and play like that. Even games at home, he won't do that. And this guy, he hasn't got the balls basically to actually play the football we know this team can play, because we've got goals in this team. I'm not like, you've got to be stupid to say we don't, but it's the way we're set up. That, and I do say this about managers all the time. The manager can't necessarily win you a game, but the manager can fuck up a season and fuck up a game. If any other manager who plays attacking football can get the best out of these players, even like I'm trying to think, like an Iraola, Hansi Flick, if he was available, they will get the best out of these players. I'm guaranteeing that right now. What else? Let's go back to Arteta's press conference. What else did he say? On being able to give minutes to different players in the Carabao Cup tomorrow. Yes, it's a lot of players that are going to take part in that, and they fully deserve the minutes. Kepa for sure is one of them, so we know Kepa's starting, which I expected. He's been with us, his attitude, the way he supports us in every aspect of his role in the best possible manner. All this as well, they deserve more minutes than what they're getting. To be fair, Kepa's going to only get minutes in this competition anyway. Unless we've got a Champions League game, that doesn't really matter. And also, these cup games possibly leading up to the semi-final, I believe. So, yeah, it looks like Kepa will get game time there. On why Skelly hasn't played much this season, yes, and sometimes performances of other players as well. You can be at a really good level, but somebody can be at a different level. Or it's just that I had the perception at the moment that it's better to play or start somebody else in the team. It doesn't mean Miles has done something wrong at all, completely the opposite. So when he has the choice, he has to try and show the level that he's at. And it makes the decision even harder. And to be fair, Calafiori, he started the season all right. So I guess Miles has got to fight for his place, which, look, you need competition in this in the sport. On whether Odegaard will be back from injury, and he needs surgery. No, he doesn't need surgery. He's totally fine. He's already been training, and it will be a matter of days. Hopefully, again, fingers crossed, he's not rushed him back. On how to find a balance of getting down with minutes while being around the first team squad. Well, learning for him probably, first of all, preparing and having a very good understanding of his new situation and all the things that are different from his life. Blah, blah, blah. His diet, his sleep patterns become different. Training loads different. Blah, blah, blah. But we need to find the right mixture of minutes, like he did the other day with the under-23s and with England. To have that exposure when he needs to play with us, he really needs to do that. And to be fair, look, his body's still developing. I'm pretty sure he's in year 11, which is mad. And also, yeah, just like I said, because I think he played against Wolves in the under-23s, I believe, a couple days ago. So whether he will play this game, I don't know. Hopefully he will, because I want to see him on the pitch. I think he should be starting. The likes of him, Ethan, Skelly, Kepa will start. Hincapié if he's fit. Can't remember. Isn't Hincapié fit? Oh no, he won't be fit. Yeah, because he got the groin injury. Mosquera will probably play. Ben White if he's fit. I'm not sure if he is. Norgard will probably play. if he's fit. Yeah, there should be a handful of changes. Okay, here we go. Here's a good question. And on if he's frustrated by the narratives of us not taking the handbrake off. No, I was surprised because when I saw everything and watching it back and all the stats, I was surprised. But I respect everybody's opinion, and if I can see and learn something that I haven't seen, I'm more than happy to do so. So that's never an issue. I don't think that one player makes that. When you see the behaviour of our team, if you're going to define that with one player playing in one position, I understand a collective sport in a completely different way. Then we played Eze on the right hand side. Could he play 90 minutes? That's a question. I put to myself, what the fuck is this guy saying? That's a question I put to myself because none of you know that the load. None of you know the load that he can do. I'm not going to ask what that means, but whatever. That's a question I put to myself because none of you know the load that he can do. So it's easy to say that he could have played with the start. Maybe not because he already played 2 games from the start and he's never played as a right attacking midfielder. So that's another one, a new element for him. Right, I don't know what that guy's saying there, but on if we can take the handbrake off, yes, we can. But this guy's pretty much insulting our intelligence because we've seen him play with the handbrake off. We've seen this guy do that before, but for some reason we're not. And that was the last question. But yeah, big up to everyone who is still watching. There is minimal difference between Enrique and Arteta, with the exception of elite attacking talent. That's bullshit, mate. I'll be honest. Enrique is a world-class manager. Arteta has never got over the line apart from once, with not a squad that isn't even his. Yeah, I've got to disagree with you, mate, badly there. We have to big up to Rob Wood. We have to get Arteta out and get ourselves a decent manager. Facts, mates. But listen, you say this, and they go, who's out there? Anyone who is willing to say £50 million a year is out there because this guy is one of the highest paid managers in Europe. I mean, there are managers out there, exactly. Let's hope Berta gets the replacement we needed, and let's hope Berta is here to sack this guy. Arteta will never get over the line. Exactly, mates. And that is the exact reason why this club will not win anything. 1 second, people. Right, okay, we're back. 100% exactly, because this guy doesn't know. He has never got over the line. Yes, he was at Man City with Pep and he won titles there as the assistant. But let's be real, the assistant is his level. He's a number 2 level coach. Look, he may do well at another club. If he goes to a lower sort of maybe mid-table team, a team fighting for Europe, maybe he will do better. However, he's not the guy to take Arsenal Football Club forward. He's got a massive ego, and that is his problem. This guy also insults everyone's intelligence in front of our eyes. And there was a quote I wanted to bring up as well from the Bilbao. Was it the Bilbao? No, the Man City. The Man City post-match press conference. He got asked about the midfield of Rice, Zubimendi, and Marino, and he said, "Oh, that midfield worked against Bilbao." It didn't, because let's be real, your subs that you made, they got you out of jail. Bilbao folded when Martinelli scored that goal, and if it weren't for Martinelli and Trossard, let's just be real, we walk out that game either with a 0-0 or Bilbao put on like a late sort of flurry. I don't think anyone would take him seriously. I can't see anyone taking him so fucking negative. There will be some team that takes him. To be fair, fucking what's his name? Graham Potter might get a sack soon. He can go there. There'll be for some random team in Spain like fucking Cadiz, Getafe, or Elche. There'll be a random team in Europe. Even Everton. But to be fair, David Moyes is doing all right. So if Moyes was to go again, Everton's probably his level. He is probably an Everton legend. because he was there for quite a while. Maybe a team that needs stabilisation, facts. And to be fair, that's what he was for us. He stabilised the ship after Emery went. He won a cup, and then obviously he took us to 15th. Brilliant. But he did stabilise us for that, that's sort of what 6 months he was there. And he done it well. That's all he was able to do. That's all he can do. And now he's, to be fair, he's left behind the squad, which although he spent way too much money on, another manager can come pick the squad up and win the league and win trophies. Because the squad is ready the squad is ready for winning games, for winning trophies. And he's the guy holding us back. But yeah, I am going to talk about not the Bilbao game, fucking hell, the Port Vale game. Like I said earlier, I do expect us to make a load of changes. Kepa in goal, that's one change. Kepa in goal, Skelly should start. Mosquera. It will be either one of Gabriel or Saliba. I suspect it will be Saliba due to him just coming back, and I think he will. He will. What's it called? He will get some fitness, and it's against Port Vale, so he won't be bothered. He won't be sort of messing about too much. Ben White will be given a start, I reckon. Norgard, and who else? Norgard, Marino, and Ethan. That'll be my preferred midfield. Bauman, if he's available to play this game, which I think he will be. Bauman. We ain't got a fucking striker apart from Gyökeres, have we? Bauman on the right. Martinelli left, Trossard false 9. I'll go with that. So yeah, Kepa in goal, Skelly, Saliba, Mosquera, Ben White, not Zubimendi, Marino, Norgard, Ethan, Bauman, Martinelli, Trossard. That is my team. 3-0 Arsenal. I don't want to see any first teamers like Saka, like Zubimendi, like Rice. None of them should none of them should even travel. None of them should even go to Port Vale, apart from, well, they'll go to Port Vale, let's just put it that way. But unless for some reason losing the game, which if we do, sack this guy, just leave him there. Let's be honest. Unless we are losing, they shouldn't touch pitch at all. This can't be a thing where we bring Saka on when we're 3-0 up against Preston. That can't happen. But yeah, that is my lineup. Big up to Rob in the chat, man. What time is kickoff tomorrow? 8 p.m. Let's have a look actually. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Is it on TV? I ain't got a clue. Is it on TV or not? It should be on Sky, hopefully. Okay, how to watch Port Vale versus Arsenal. Well, it's showing different countries, isn't it? You see, United Kingdom's right at the bottom. Where's it? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Sky Sports main event. So yeah, Port Vale. Yeah, so it's on Sky at 8 p.m. Sky Sports main event. That's a very good thing because I believe we played a game last year and it went on Sky, so I was looking at some websites. I'll put it that way. But yeah, Rob, it is on Sky. I just checked now. I've subbed. Thanks. We need as many of us Arteta out fans speaking up. We must get him out. Facts, bro. And I'm happy there's so many people that are have the same message as me, the same thought process. And listen, spread this word out, man. We've got to get this guy sacked. Hopefully, although I'm a small channel at the minute, there are many big channels out there. So if I can join any of them into helping get this fucking fraud out, so be it. But yeah, those of you who are still here, big up to everyone. Like, sub, and share. Go through a few more comments. Lincoln versus Chelsea. That's tonight, isn't it? I've got these fucking retainers in as well. It's so annoying to speak. But I've got to wear them so my sleeves don't go fucking like bent again like they used to be when I was younger. But yeah, Lincoln City versus Chelsea. So the lineups are out for that game. So it's Jorgensen in goal, Chalobah, Fofana, centre backs, Gusto and Hato, Santos, Enzo, Buonanotte, Garnacho's getting his first start, Jamie Gittins, and Tyreek George. That team stinks. I'll be so honest. And they've got Cucurella, Neto, James, Caicedo, Esteval, Gabriel Stanina, Reggie Walsh, Ollie Harrison, Shim McInerney on the bench. So they're fairly sats on the bench. Well, half and half, really. Gregor McDinnis, someone could he got the good work. Thank you very much, man. And listen, big up to everyone who has commented, liked. Apart from that one fucking mutant, who called me a couch muppet, but there we go. Each to their own, innit? But yeah, we are going to end it here. Hope Chelsea lose tonight. So let's see what other Carabao Cup games are on, to be fair. Before I go. Let's have a look. So Lincoln played Chelsea. Wolves against Everton tonight as well. Okay. Fulham, Cambridge, Wigan, Wickham, Barnsley, Brighton, Burnley, Cardiff, Liverpool, Southampton as well. That's at 8 o'clock. But yeah, that's about it. It's a pretty dead round, to be honest. And tomorrow we've got Huddersfield, Man City, Newcastle, Bradford, Tottenham, Doncaster, and then Port Vale, Arsenal. And then I'm pretty sure after our game ends, the fourth round draw starts on. We should be through. We better be through. If not, then I would say serious conversations have got to happen, but they'll find a way to spin it. Anyway, listen, it's been a good stream. I'm going to end it here. Like, sub, and share the content around, and I'll see you guys for the match reaction tomorrow. I'll see you a lot in a bit.